I have another question that stems from, again, you discussing about the quote now being the main sort of data driver now for the D-score. Where does this leave the performance attribute?
Yes, so now the performance attributes, it's similar to what the concept of the D-score, and probably we are going to end up eliminating it because
it's quite correlated.
It's more or less similar. It's not that powerful. I mean, but it's similar. But the difference is that we can use the performance as a momentum indicator, probably.
Sure. Yes.
Because it's more on the short term, and the D-score is more long term. It has more. It has more weight of the long term. Let's say it this way. Mm-hmm. But it's good. It could be used as a momentum indicator of the performance. But sooner or later, I think we are going to eliminate it too. I think because it's to make this clearer. Yes.
For clarity.
For clarity, yes.
And are there any plans to use the attributes, the other attributes, the investment attributes, in some interesting ways? So one of the things, like I'll tell you from being a member of our community of users, one of the things that often surface are that strategies are described by strategy providers in a way that is not representative of their behavior in the Darwin, which is a real problem.
Yes, in an ideal world, it would be great that we allow traders to say, hey, I'm thinking louder, but imagine you can fill this form and we're going to contrast with the attributes if this form is accurate or not. So, or if you are deviating from what you wanted to do, and what you started. This right now, this is something we could do. But the most important, my Darwinex Labs in the next months, we are going to work. This is an announcement. In the next months, we are going to work on two different things, completely different things. One is to measure the quality of the investor. Not the trader.
Yes.
Why? Because we want also good investors at Darwinex.
Of course.
Because if we don't have good investors, we don't have performance fees.
We don't attract good traders either.
So we need to make more informed investors, and the idea here is using certain kind of attributes so that even I'm also talking loud, but imagine this situation that there is a Darwin that is almost filled of capacity. And at that moment, only at that moment, we allow the trader to say, hey, from now on, you can accept only certain types of investors. Because there is a lot of demand on the Darwin.
Yes.
And we want only that the capacity is filled with the right investors.
With the most appropriate investor.
Yes, because if not, they are using capacity without paying performance fees. And I think this is not fair. I can give you
not fair on the provider.
Someone who buys on the top and he sells always on the bottom. No? Yes. And whenever he cuts the investment with a loss, and whenever he wants to reinvest again on that Darwin, he's really far away from the high water mark. So he's using the capacity without any way to make any return on the Darwin provider. No?
This is a real problem because in all the studies we've done as part of labs or as part of like alpha team efforts, we increasingly come upon the same outcome that people are in aggregate buy at high sharps and sell at low sharps.
So this is the idea. And the idea to measure what's the behavior of the investors and how to improve this behavior. Because I think you as an investor, you are also responsible of the product. So I mean, investors say, no, I'm coming here to Darwinex and I'm going to make money without easily. No, that's not true. So you must make an effort and you're responsible of the entire ecosystem. This is the way I see it. It's not... And for that reason, it's why we want to measure this behaviors. And on the other side is how to create a description of the Darwin without
the Darwin provider saying anything.
Yes. Yes, using...
Could you use the attributes for that?
Using the attributes. Yeah. You can use... I think it's easy. It's like saying, hey, let's create like a template description. A robot that says this is the trading behavior of this based on the data we have. This Darwin or the signal is trading this way.
This trading strategy appears to be, performing in scalping fashion or something, and has a propensity to open and close really well, and so stuff like that. Interesting things we can brainstorm in-house, actually.
Yes. I wanted to say something about the timing because
go on.
Of the investor attribute. So and
By
this is
this
something.
you mean open and close?
Yeah, study, because this is something. There was a huge debate, and I need to agree this time that the community was right.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea of the timing was to avoid that a trading study was done by a monkey.
Mm-hmm.
It means that if you have a random monkey, imagine 1,000 monkeys,
Mm-hmm.
one of them is going to do really well.
Yeah.
If it's random, by default, it's for sure, 100% sure. Again, if someone comes and demonstrates me that what I'm saying is not true, then
I challenge you to.
I challenge this to the community. But I'm 100% sure that the timing is 5. It means it's random.
Yeah.
But, and this is curious, and this is something I've learned, no, that having not a 5 means that you're not a monkey. But that's clear that you're not a monkey. We're humans.
Yeah.
And most of the trading strategy, they don't have a 5. It means that each of us have a bias.
True. Makes complete
and
sense.
the bias is that you are not a 5. But this bias doesn't mean that it's a good having a 7 or having a 3. It's at the end, what we have learned is that having a 7 or having a 3 has more to do if you trade long, following the trend or
based
not.
on the actual.
But the bias is there because if we were like monkeys, all our trading strategies would have a timing of 5.
True, that makes sense. And at the same time,
but it doesn't happen. I'm telling you this because this is a good way to demonstrate that the market is biased.
Yes. Thanks.
And there's always more opportunities in the market. Mm-hmm. Because if there were no opportunities in the market, all traders on the long term would have score a 5 in timing.
Yeah.
I'm saying this because this is a reflection of what I've done to demonstrate that there must be tons of opportunities in the market because we are all so much biased. So, and
that in aggregate we create opportunities for each other. No,
of course. So you need to use the bias of others to your favor.
In your favor, yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, that's kind of how the market works, no?
Yes,
that's kind of how we work. So speaking of rankings, then, since we're on the subject of score ranks. Where does this leave Darwinia? So the Darwinia is, if I'm not mistaken, heavily influenced by the D-score rankings.
No, 100%. You rank in Darwinia based on the D-score and their monthly return. And you're using the distribution of the monthly return, by the way, from 0 to 10. What I mentioned before.
That's right.
So having a 30% return, it's not much better than having a 10%. That's what I'm saying.
True,
it's almost the same. But yes, so it affects Darwinia clearly because it's the main ranking criteria. In order to make so that people don't get scared that it's going to be really difficult to get into Darwinia right now. So the aim of Darwinia is that the more aspiring traders in the world have their first contact with investors. Mm-hmm. So because the only way you and me, we already make the step to manage money.
Yes.
Indirectly or directly, and we know how important it is to face to have investors.
To face AUM.
It's face really AUM. No, but psychologically.
Psychologically, yes.
So Darwinia is an introduction to become big. Mm-hmm. So it means that the more we will succeed if more and more traders at Darwinex get investment, even if it's slow, because it's the best way to get in contact psychologically to leading with having money backing you, and that's the reason why we started with Darwinia. So it's not for the professional traders, and not for it's more for those who are aspiring to go there.
To equip people with the mentality, or if you're a discretionary or manual trader, to equip you with the mentality of how to handle yourself.
But even if you are algorithmic, you are always facing a secret side. You always can click the button to stop your algorithm. Or to change the leverage, or it's something you need to demonstrate that you're a good trader. You need to face that there is first of all, make it with your own money and then with others' money. And it's better to do it with Darwinex money than do it with
real investor money.
Real investor money. And so this is why we started Darwinia. At the same time, we want to also, to those who are really good, we want to give them a proper allocation, not just 35,000. I mean, it's for the first significant numbers of money. So said that is that what I want to say is that any aspiring trader can you can say that if he has between 6 and 9 months of track record, he can still aspire to reach a certain price in Darwin.
Yes.
But in order to become the first 10, it's going to be significantly more difficult.
Difficult to do so.
So for me, it hurted me a lot whenever I see a winning Darwin that I never would invest on him. So this is something that it hurt me in the past.
Yes.
And this is also right. I think we make the right decision changing the score also for that. It affects our reputation.
It does as a company.
As a company, if there's someone, because anyone who comes to Darwinex, the first thing he will say, "Oh, these stupid guys, they're investing on this guy because he's really bad." Okay, yeah. I see this too. Give me. I will tell him, okay, let me know how you do it if it's not this way. Okay, and but it hurts the reputation not only from Darwinex. At the end, it affects all of us. So this was also another reason to really change the D-score, and so that no one can criticize it that easy. So it's not going to be anyone who has a 75 or 80. No one will say, hey, he doesn't deserve this. It's going to have a really great track record and with really good returns. So
that's not to say that criticism isn't welcome. No, of course not.
No.
But criticism is absolutely welcome. But at least in this situation, there is the presence of information that we are doing whatever we possibly can.
No, but maybe I said that in that sense, I was hurt because I know he was right. So don't you understand me? It's like fuck. No,
moment of reflection.
I cannot answer him because he's completely right. I don't understand why this Darwin is the first Darwin. I really don't know it. But in order to change
it's only motivated you.
Yes, in order to change it, like we need to do tons of changes because we need to separate it from the investment attributes. It's been a huge effort from our side to make this step.